Next, we've got roasted garlic Parmesan smashed potatoes. And the first thing we need to do is get a pot of water boiling. And I'm using the cranberry red potatoes, so there are going to be a slight pink tone to them. And I'm just going to cut them in quarters to plop them in the boiling water. And these really little guys, I'm just going to cut them in half. The great thing about potatoes is that they're really easy to make. They don't need a whole lot of fancy to-do just to taste good. Now, most mashed potatoes are made with cream and butter, and they're really high in fat. I'm trying to be a little bit better about that, so I'm going to use skim milk, and instead of butter, I'm going to use a little bit of olive oil. So once you've got all your potatoes quartered, you're going to bring them over and plop them into the pot of boiling water. And now's the time we're going to need to salt the water. Pop the lid on and let them cook for about 20 to 25 minutes until they're fork tender. So while our potatoes are boiling away, I'm going to chop up some chives. I'm going to do about a tablespoon, maybe a little more. Do whatever you like. It's really to taste. I just really love the mild flavor of chives. Not quite as intense as an onion, but it'll give you a nice little hint of flavor. And I'm just going to push it off to the side. So this recipe calls for roasted garlic. So for a really quick summary on how to roast garlic, you take a head of garlic, cut about a quarter of the way down so you really expose the cloves, put it into a piece of foil with a little bit of olive oil, salt, pepper. You can even throw in some herbs if you want. You're going to wrap it up tight in the foil and roast it 400 degrees, 25 to 30 minutes until it's really nice and soft and ooey gooey. I'm just going to clean up here and go check my potatoes. They look good. So I'm going to drain them over the sink. So you know when you cook them, that pink color just really starts to pop. So I'm just going to finish draining these out and put them right back into that pot. The hot pot will help absorb the extra water. Okay, and now my masher. So for this, like I said, I don't use cream, I use some skim milk. I have half a cup here. You may or may not need all of it. So pour a little bit, test it. If it's a little, if it's not wet enough, pour a little bit more. And this is 2 tablespoons of Parmesan cheese. And now I have my roasted garlic. So I'm just going to pop these cloves out and mash. Okay, now that I've got them started, time to add my olive oil. And I think today I'm going to use all the milk. These look pretty well smashed. I'm going to grab a little bit more salt and some black pepper. And I love fresh cracked black pepper. I'm going to throw in my chives, and I'm going to get a nice bowl to present this in. These look so nice. They're like blushing potatoes. And there we go. Roasted garlic parmesan smashed potatoes.